Hi everyone, welcome to another tutorial. If this is your first time on this channel, you're welcome. My name is Dee, and on this channel I teach how to crochet, and I also I just started doing vlogs. So if you haven't checked out my vlog yet, please do. I'll link it in the description box below. In this tutorial, I'll teach you how I made this cute, very simple ruffled top. As you can see, it's very beginner friendly. You can decide on whether you want the ruffles to be at the bottom of the top as well, just like I did with this pink one. I used Red Hat Super Saver with this one, which is a size 4 yarn, and I used size 3 yarn for the white one, which we are making in this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe and to give this video a thumbs up and to let me know what you think in the comment section. These are the materials used in this tutorial. I'm using a 3.75mm hook, a tape measure, a pair of scissors, and you can use any yarn of your choice. I'll be using this brand. I love this yarn. This is a light 3 yarn and it is 100% acrylic. Here you go for more details. All right, now that we have that, we're going to get started. We're going to start with a slip knot. Then we're going to insert a hook and we're going to make a chain in multiples of 4. So you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you'll keep going until the chain is long enough to go around your bust when stretched. So whether you're making this for a child or for an adult, you're just going to do the same thing. I'm back and I have made a chain of 100. So now we are going to work in rounds, but before that, make sure your chain is not twisted. And then insert your hook in that first chain. Then yarn over and pull through. And now we're going to be working in rounds. What you're going to do next is chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. This chain 3 is going to count as our first double crochet. So now we're going to turn our chain like so, and we're going to be working in the back bumps of the chain. So you yarn over, leave alone this one where the chain is coming out of, because that's our first stitch, and into the next you're going to insert your hook and place there a double crochet. Double crochet in the next stitch, and you're going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch until you work all the way around. Alright, I'm back and I have 1 stitch left. I'm placing there my last double crochet. Then what we're going to do next is slip stitch right on top of the 3rd chain. 1, 2, and on top of that 3rd stitch, that is where you're going to make a slip stitch, just like that. Now from here we're going to start making our shell pattern. You're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, And then on top of that stitch where the chain 3 is coming out of, we're going to place there a double crochet, chain 2, back in that same stitch, make 2 more double crochets. This is what you should have. Next, you're going to yarn over and skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, and in the 4th, you're going to insert your hook and make a shell of 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all in the same space. Yarn over, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th, make a shell of 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in the same space. And this is what we're going to repeat for this round. Yarn over, skip 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th, make a shell of 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all in the same. Alright, I'm working towards the end and I'm skipping 1, 2, 3 and making a shell in this next chain or next stitch. So here the last stitches, I have only 2 stitches, so it's okay if you have 3, just skip those 3 and slip stitch. If you have 2, it's still okay, it's not going to affect the pattern. So now we're going to slip stitch on top of the 3rd chain, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch in that chain. And this is how your first round should be looking. We're now off to round 2. We're going to slip stitch on top of the next stitch, slip stitch in the chain 2 space, then chain 3, turn our work. From here and onwards, we're going to be turning our work after every round. So after turning your work, you're going to yarn over and place a double crochet in that same stitch. So here we have only 2 stitches. We're going to make the last 2 once we get back to this point. So after that, you're going to yarn over and make a shell in the chain in the next chain 2 space. Make a shell in the next chain 2 space. And this pattern is easy. That's what you're going to repeat for this round, making a shell in every chain 2 space all the way around. Alright, I'm working towards the end and I have this last space left. So I'm placing there my 2 double crochets, chain 2. Alright, so to complete, we're just going to slip stitch right on top of the 3rd chain, like so. And then we have completed the 2nd round for these shells. We're not going to repeat those 2 rounds that we have. Okay, so remember you have to turn your work at the end of every round. So once you get here at the end, like you see we've slip stitched there, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And then in this chain 2 space, you're going to insert your hook, make a slip stitch, then chain 3, which counts as our first stitch. Make your 2 double crochets in there and then continue making a shell. So you're just going to continue making shells in every chain 2 space over and over. When you get to the end, you complete this first one by making there 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then you slip stitch on top of the 3rd chain. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this pattern and I'll be back once I have a few rounds completed. Alright guys, I'm back and this is how my work is looking so far. And I'm going to count the row of double crochets as well. So I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17. I have 18 rounds here completed, and let's see, we have 7 inches long. And now we're going to work from the front separately and make the back separately as we create the armholes for our top. And this is where the stitch markers comes in. You're going to mark the sides of your top, and this is going to help you identify where to start from and where to stop at while creating the armholes. So I hope that makes sense to you guys, but as we go, you're going to see what I mean by that. And now we're going to work from one stitch marker to the other, and we're going to keep doing that back and forth as we make the armholes. So here I still have my stitch marker. I'm now going to slip stitch in this chain 2 space, like so. Then I'm going to chain up 3, turn my work. From there you're going to yarn over and make a shell in the next chain 2 space. Yarn over and make a shell in the next chain 2 space. And then you're going to continue making a shell in every chain 2 space until you get to the next stitch marker. When you make it back to the end, you're going to make 1 double crochet in the chain 2 space where we have the stitch marker. And this is how your work should be looking. So we have one double crochet here, and we have a chain 3 on this side, which counts as our first double crochet. So we're basically placing only one stitch around the edges, around that last stitch. All right, so we're going to repeat that until we have the desired length for the armholes. So we chain 3, turn our work, and then continue making shells in every chain 2 space, and then of course finish with a double crochet at the end and repeat. All right, so once you get to the end here, you're going to yarn over and make one double crochet right on top of this chain 3 that we have here. So this is the third chain, and I'm placing there my double crochet, just like that. So once you get back to this side as well, you're going to make a double crochet on top of this double crochet that we have on this side, and it's that simple. So I'm going to keep going and make a few rows, and then I'll be back and show you guys how to work on the back part of our top. I'm back, guys, and this is how my work is looking so far. I have made 9 rows from where we started from this stitch marker all the way to this point. We have 9 rows, and this space is long enough for my daughter's armhole, and it is 4.5 inches on both sides. There, 4.5 inches on both sides. So now that we have got the length that we desire for the front part, we are going to chain one, get your scissors and cut the yarn, leaving a long tail that we can use later to join the shoulders. So I'm going to leave a long tail, and I'm just going to pull this through. So now you're going to divide the shells you have here by 2. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? I have 11 shells here. So what I'm going to do is work on 5 shells, and then the fifth one, rather then the next shell, that is where we're going to make our last stitch of double crochet, of 1 double crochet. I'll just go ahead and do it so you guys can get the picture of what I mean. I'll start from here where we have our stitch marker. Insert your hook, get your yarn and make a slip knot. Remember, we are turning our work at the end of each row, so that is why I'm working. This is the last row. This is the wrong side of it. So I'm going to chain 3, which is going to count as my first double crochet. Then after that, I'm going to make shells in the next 5 shells from the previous round. So let's say that if your shells are even numbers, what you're going to do is you can place the double crochet in these spaces that we have. It will still be okay. All right. One, two, three, four, five. And then now in this next shell, I'm going to place there only one double crochet, then chain three and turn my work, yarn over and make a shell in every chain two space until I get to the end. Once you make it to the end, finish with a double crochet right on top of that last stitch or chain, like so. And then you're going to repeat that row that we just completed. I'm going to keep going back and forth until I have 10 rows or 9 rows. I'm thinking about adding an extra row to make it to 10. So I'm going to do that and then I will be back once I'm done. Alright guys, so this is how my work is looking so far. I went ahead and added the 10th row. So now I'm done with this part. So what you're going to do is get your yarn and make a slip knot. Then you're going to reattach your yarn in this stitch where we have the double crochet. So insert your hook, then chain 3, and then make a shell in the next stitch. Remember to start from the wrong side. This row here has to be the wrong side facing you for you to start the next row, because we have to turn our work after every row. Alright, this is where we have our stitch marker, and we are simply going to place there one double crochet, and then we just repeat what we did here and make a total of 10 rows for the armholes. Alright, I'm going to repeat that until I have 10 rows and then I'll be back. Alright guys, so after making the back, we're now going to join the shoulders on both sides. So I still have my yarn attached to this side. Remember to turn your work to the wrong side, and I'm going to join all the way until I get to this third shell. You're going to turn your work to the wrong side, and then we are going to use the single crochet stitch to join this together. Then make one single crochet in the chain two space, then continue making one single crochets on top of every stitch, going through both sides at the same time. And now I'm going to make my last single crochet in this chain two space, like so. And then I'm going to go back with a slip stitch, chain one, then I'm going to cut off my yarn. Should have something like this. This is the wrong side. And now we're going to repeat the same thing on this other side of the top. So I'm going to do it off the camera and then I'll be back and show you guys what to do next. Alright, so here is what I have after attaching the shoulder part. As you can see, I left two shells on each side for the back. Okay, so this is what we have. Alright, so now I'm done joining the shoulders, as you can see. And I'm going to, I've already chained one. I'm going to get my scissors and cut the yarn. Okay, so both shoulders are joined, as you can see, and we now have this opening for the neckline. And what we're going to do next is make a single crochet row around it. So I still have this strand here, and I'm just going to get my yarn and reattach it, and then I'll just continue with it instead of having a bunch of strands to weave in. From where I'm at right now, I'm going to insert my hook in that first stitch, pull up a loop, chain one, then go back in that same stitch with a single crochet, just like that. Single crochet on top of the next two stitches, single crochet in the chain two space, single crochet on top of the next two stitches, and we're just going to keep on making one single crochet on top of every stitch, including the chain two space. You place there one single crochet as well, and we're going to repeat this all around the neckline. All right, now that we are done working a row of single crochet around the neckline, we're going to chain 3, which is going to count as our first double crochet. Then turn our work, yarn over, and in that very first stitch we're going to place there 2 double crochets. That's 1 and 2. So this makes it 3 double crochets in the same stitch. After that, we are simply going to continue making, we're going to keep making 3 double crochets in the same stitch all around the neckline, and that is how the ruffles are going to form. So 3 double crochets in every stitch all the way around. Alright, I have made it to the end of the neckline and I have like 2 stitches left. This one here is my last one. Okay, after the 3 double crochets, before you cut the yarn, you're going to make a chain that's gonna be about maybe 10 inches, just long enough to tie whether in front or in the back. However, in whichever way you decide to style this top. Okay, once you have enough length, then you can cut off the yarn. I would recommend you make a few knots here before you cut the extra strand. I just did it wrong right there. Okay, just tie a few knots. All right, then cut off the extra. And now we need to make this same chain on this other side of the ruffles. Set your hook in that last stitch, or you can go through the 2 stitches, then make a slip knot, and make the same number of chains you chained for the other side. Alright, I have chained 26 chains for both sides. And again, tie a few knots before you cut the whole thing off. Alright, now we're going to work around the sleeves. I'll take this out. make a slip knot, then attach it right in the middle of the armhole. Chain one, chain one again, and in that same space make 2 single crochets. Then in this next space make 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. As you can see, I'm working over this strand as I go. So you're simply going to make 2 single crochets in every space that we have here around the armhole. And don't make them too tight. Okay. Okay, this is my last space. Placing there my last 2 single crochets, then slip stitch right on top of the first single crochet. And now we have this. After this, we're now going to repeat what we did here around the neckline. So chain 3, which counts as the first double crochet, and then in that same space place there 2 double crochets. After that, make 3 double crochets in every stitch all the way around this armhole. All right, I'll keep going and I'll meet you guys back. Actually, once you get around the sleeve, once you get to the very last stitch, you're going to slip stitch on top of the chain 3 that we started with, and after that you cut the yarn, reattach it on this other side of the sleeve, and repeat the same thing. So I'll be back once I'm done with both sleeves. This is what you're going to get after making the ruffles around the neckline and the sleeves. And as you can see, it's cute. It's pretty cute, and I hope you guys like it as well. Now, this part is optional. If you want to add ruffles to the bottom of your top, like the pink one that you've seen, you're simply going to make a slip knot. After the slip knot, you are going to insert your hook in any stitch, and you are basically going to make ruffles just like we did around the sleeves and around the neckline. So this time you're going through the double crochets here, making sure you go through 2 loops. Then you're going to start with a chain 3, and in that same space you're going to make 2 double crochets. That makes it a total of 3, and after that you keep going making 3 double crochets. You keep going making 3 double crochets in every stitch all the way around. As you've seen in the pictures, for this white top I did not make the ruffles at the bottom of it, but I'm doing it right now to show you guys. If you want to continue with it, this is what you're going to do. After this first round of ruffles, you're going to make 1 double crochet on top of every stitch, and then when you get to the end you slip stitch, and you're going to repeat that for as many rows as you like. Okay, so yeah, that's how you're gonna do it. But for now, this is it for today's tutorial. I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.